I'm not sure what happened there. My stream went away. So this is part 2 of my walk to Mosaic Stadium, which is right there. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. There'll be a left turn signal I have to wait for. I'll have to label this part 2 when I get back. I just got a message that says there was an error, but it didn't say what it was. All right, we'll go. It didn't change, but we'll go anyway. So probably nobody is watching now. Oh, I can put that back over there again. Yeah. Don't know what happened, but anyway. We'll just carry on and hopefully part 2 gets us where we're going. This is the main Transcontinental Railway here. Runs to the coast in both directions, more or less. CP line. That's the reason why Regina is where it is, because we don't have any geographical reason for it to be here. Wascana Creek is not spectacular when it's not dammed to make a lake, which it has been. All right, we'll go this way around the stadium. We're able to get a quick look inside through the gates here. Can't see much because the lattice work kind of makes it hard to look through with the phone. But and if you're just finding me, because this is part 2 after part 1 quit back there, I thought I'd walk down here to the football stadium because it's Super Bowl Sunday, even though, of course, we're not playing Super Bowl here. Canadian Football League plays here, and local high school teams and things like that. Let's see what we can see. Not too much. If I get the camera in just the right spot, I might be able to sort of look through the gates here. Right here. There we go. Inside the Mosaic Stadium. Now I'd better make sure it's still focused in the distance. I didn't refocus on something up close when I did that. There's stands at the ends down here, and of course concession stands and bars and restrooms and things. Up above us, around the corner here, we'll see the Maxitron, it's called. Sastel Maxitron. Not a Jumbotron, because Sastel's TV service is called Max, so it's a Maxitron. Up there it is. Look up, look way up. It's a really big screen, really big. When they have concerts, they'll be down at this end at halftime, usually right under the Maxitron here, I think, is where they usually put the stage. Have a look inside. Our seats are over on this side, about 12 rows up from the sideline, or 11 rows, I guess. I think it's row 11. So really good seats. We're on about the 50-yard line, or 55. The 55-yard line is center in Canadian football. Pretty darn close to the middle, and on the Rough Riders side of the field. And over here is the fairgrounds, exhibition grounds. And that lower building over there is where the Regina Pats play. That's the hockey rink, called the Agrodome. I can't remember how many it seats, but it's where we get things like concerts. We've had big concerts in here too, but smaller concerts, they only need a few, 10,000, 20, 12,000 people or whatever it seats. I saw Bob Dylan in there, Dire Straits a long time ago. Alabama even longer ago. Probably the first big concert I went to there. Cirque du Soleil most recently. And then there's a whole bunch more exhibition buildings over here. And they also have rinks in them for minor hockey and figure skating practice and all that sort of thing. I'm going to put my hat back on now that I hear the wind again. I think it's called Centennial Park here. It has a fountain with frogs on it. But no fountaining going on right now, obviously. Ticket booth. This is the fan lounge. I don't think you can see much except me if I point at it, but you can see a little bit of it. Concessions in there. It's a good place to come sometimes. We can get to it pretty easily, so we go in there quite often for our concessions. There's the fountain over there. Queensbury Centre, I think they call that. It used to be Queensbury Downs, and there's a horse racing track. And I've heard people are thinking of trying to bring horse racing back. There I am. Hello. Statues over there of Glenn Lancaster and George Reed, who were legends in Saskatchewan Rough Rider football. Lancaster's quarterback, Reed as running back. He held a lot of league records. They both held league records. Oddly enough, they only won one Grey Cup, but there you go. Another look at the Queensbury. I think they still call it that. And coming into view to my left there is the armory. So it's where the cadets hang out, and the Saskatchewan Military Museum is in there. You often see military vehicles close to it, and they even have some, old guns and things on the grounds. An indoor parade ground is what it is, so the cadets can train in there even in the wintertime. And at one time it was the armory and contained, store of weapons in case they were needed. All right, here's back on the field again. See the Maxitron down there at the end. We'll come up to the Rider store here in a minute if you want to get your merch, as the kids say. This is where you'd get it. And it's probably open. It's always open. See all these cars here. Now we look at the armory there. There's the business office for the Riders, and then here's the Rider store. It's open. It says right there, it's open. You can't see much because of the reflections. But if you want something in green and white, you can probably get it in there. That's a aquatic center and gym across the way. Oh, and this statue here is honoring all the people who have contributed. It's a community-owned team, so you can buy shares in it, and it's a bit unusual in that regard. I think I will cross up here and then walk down that side of Elphinstone for the return trip. That way we can go by the statue here. Way up. Good look at the armory over there. You can see there's an armored vehicle there. I don't know if I think that's a tank. Armored vehicles aren't necessarily tanks. Oh, we watched All Quiet on the Western Front last night. Netflix movie based on the famous 1929 novel, which was written by a First World War veteran, German First World War veteran. It was kind of the first time that a war veteran had written honestly about what war was like. Classic anti-war novel. 10 years after it was published, World War II started, so it shows you kind of the limits of the influence that novels have. Goebbels condemned it as propaganda, but the author had gotten out of Germany to Switzerland and eventually ended up in the U.S. and became a naturalized U.S. citizen. And then he died in only about 1977. So here's this side of the stadium. Not walking down alongside it though. So this will take us by the Lawson Aquatic Center and gym. The pool's on this side. That's where our various swim teams would mostly practice. That's our turnaround point. How long have I been walking? Well, I can't tell because the feed went down halfway through. So, in the shade of Mosaic Stadium, this is the main entrance. So you see it's a gym on that side. This is one of the city-owned facilities, so anybody can use it. I have been in it, but I haven't ever say I used it. I don't think I've ever swum in the pool here, but I'm not much of a swimmer. Anyway, if you were going to go in and swim or use the gym, you'd go in there. There's a big parking lot on the other side that gets used more often, probably. I'd actually prefer to get off this sidewalk because I think the one over there is less icy. So let's go over there. Looks like it may be a bit more melted off. Or at least I can walk in the gravel if I come over here. Stay out of the ice completely. Another entrance to the Mosaic Stadium there. And there's the big sign up above, Mosaic Stadium. That was my destination on this walk. Now we're walking home. Or I am. You're probably just sitting at home. Hope my microphone is more or less staying pointed at my mouth. It tends to wander. This is nicely melted. I don't really want to walk along Saskatchewan Drive, but I will get off of Elphinstone as quickly as I can. There's downtown. Oh, how much time will I have when I get home? Well, enough to look at my music, at least give it a cursory examination. Listen to it. Seems to help a lot. And fortunately, still no train to worry about. So they can take a long time to go by because they're slowing down for the freight yards. If they are planning to stop here. Looks like we are train free. And I'll have to wait for the crossing again. might make it, except nobody will have pushed the button. But that didn't stop me last time. Actually, it worked out perfectly, as long as I walk briskly. I don't know what that is. Seems empty, but painted windows. I think this is a union hall of some sort up here on the left. Am I right? Oh no, I'm wrong. Regina Construction Association. Unexpected step down there. And Saskatchewan Highway Construction Association. And giant Legos, just to keep people from driving through there. Everybody around here has to keep an eye on parking, because at football game time, people will park anywhere they think they can get away with it. Now, I think I will go down at least to this light to get on the other side of Victoria, or at least walk along Victoria as I work my way the last few blocks home. Sun's pretty low. Certainly the days are getting longer, though. This won't be a very long wait, so maybe I will cross here. Just so I can cross with the light. It's our left turn signal. Not this time of day. All right, we'll go down Victoria here now. And then take the next street down to 13th probably. Or I'll just down Victoria. I don't know. I'll decide. Taking my hat off again now that I'm out of the wind. I'm plenty warm enough. Just wearing my leather jacket. I have been wearing my parka because of the cold weather, but colder weather, but today we're back into feels like spring weather. Won't last as long as our heat wave last week, though. Back to normal temperatures this week. Nothing like we had a brief, very cold spell when it was minus 36. There's nothing like that in the forecast. It could still happen, but it doesn't look like it will this year. Being an El Nino year. Not a real snowman. Do I Montague to 13th, or do I stick on... Maybe I'll stick on Victoria for the moment. Trying to think. There's a crosswalk on Robinson, so maybe that's where I'll turn right and go down. I think there's probably another one down here, but Robinson, well, there is for sure, because there's... What street would that be? Well, I haven't walked on Victoria for a while, and I've walked on 13th, so I'll just carry on down to Robinson and turn there. Old apartment building there, a row of apartments. Maybe they're condos now, I don't know. A lot of old houses along here, and they get bigger as you get closer to downtown. At least some are big down that way. Because this was prime real estate once upon a time. Here's Athol, which is where we turned up to begin with. There's this side of those row houses. Not really row apartments or row condos, whatever they are now. More ice to watch out for. Ooh, really nasty patch, actually. Really nasty. But I made it in one piece so far. Still a ways to go, but hopefully I will not repeat my on-camera fall of a couple of weeks ago. Well, longer than that, but maybe 3 weeks ago. Don't remember now. I remember doing it though. Here's an old one. Went down hard, but fortunately didn't break anything, because here I am, still ambulatory. Garnet Street, I used to live on. Now, is that where the other crosswalk would be? No, I don't think so. Maybe. Actually, it is. Okay, we'll go down here and take this crosswalk then. Along Garnet. When we come out, the cathedral will be right there, and Westminster United will be right there. Well, not right there. A little off to our left yet, but we're getting there. I'd be interested to see if this streamed to Rumble. If you're watching it on Rumble, I hope you're enjoying it, but I have no way of knowing. It's an experiment today. It may have something to do with why the feed failed too, I don't know, but it hasn't failed again, so hopefully not. Something interfered with the signal long enough for the phone to hang up, I guess. Yeah, there's the cathedral. Coming up on our left. There's the spire, one of the two spires. They tend to come in pairs on cathedrals. There's the other spire. We've got the 13th Avenue coffee shop here with the cowls on the side of it. That used to be a nunnery, now it's condos. Oh, hello, Terry. You're welcome. Or Tony, not Terry, sorry. No, it is Terry. That's just my eyes. That light, there it goes. I knew it would come on. Hopefully before I got run over, because somebody did get run over at this crosswalk, I believe. Let's walk down by the cathedral here, which is right there. To take us by Holy Rosary School, which I think is closing, or has closed. I'm never entirely sure which. The cathedral was built in 1910, I think. You can be sure that the wheelchair ramp over here is not original equipment. Nobody thought about those things back then. There's the back of the old nunnery. Because I have walked that way, but clearly not going to do that today. Playground over there. Mural there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this school is closed now. Can we walk in front of it? Yeah, I think so. I don't usually walk this way, so this is kind of new, up close to the building like this. If it's not closed, it is closing. I'm sure of that. It still has a flag on it, so it must not be closed yet. So I'm almost sure. Doesn't look closed yet. Well, maybe it does. There's nothing in the windows. Huh. Hard to say. I just know there was talk of closing it, and I think it's closing or has closed. So, how's that for being informative? Sidewalk's much clearer over here than on the other side, so let's stick to this side for the moment. Nice bright yellow house. This is Cameron Street. If you went on down it, you'd come to the footbridge that I often cross when I'm going along the creek. And this is the separate school board offices over here. Might as well cross now. Both sides look about the same. That's actually a bigger house than it looks from the front. It goes way back here. Lots of rooms. In school zone, so I can speed up to faster than 30 kilometers an hour, but I don't think I will. Not today. Apartment building here. Their boring alley. Wayward grocery cart. They roam in packs, you know, mate and breed, and pop up everywhere as a result. I often point out that apartment building over there is where the piano that's in our living room used to be on the top floor, and it's a mini grand piano, baby grand. Belonged to Madame Burkett, who was a voice teacher in the early days. And she didn't like anybody living over her head, so she lived on the top floor, and the piano was up there too. These are rather nice. We looked at them when we were looking for a condo, but no elevator. And the floors were definitely, if you dropped something in the kitchen, you always knew where it would end up. There was a very pronounced roll in the kitchen in the one we looked at. But it was really the stairs that, not that we couldn't manage them, but manage them less well now than we could have 26 years ago. But could still manage them. But my mother-in-law, who we knew we would be trading places with at some point, certainly couldn't. No, and if you do, I feel sorry for you. No place is boring. You bring your boredom with you. So if a place is boring, it's not the place that's boring, it's you who is boring. That's my philosophy anyway. Your mileage may vary, as they say. Not much farther. Which is good, because I still have to rehearse music for tonight. Or at least look at it. Look at it and listen to the recording. Probably what I'll do for the pieces we're working on this evening. There's a nasty bit. So it's never boring when you could fall down and kill yourself at any moment. That adds a little spice to proceedings. It was a hardware store originally. It still says hardware at the top, but it's apartments now. And we're almost up to Retallick here, which will take us the last 2 blocks home. This is an iPhone, whatever the latest one is, 15, I guess. Just upgraded in the fall. I just said, this is an iPhone. Yeah, I'm firmly ensconced in the Apple world. All my computers are Apples now. Used to be Windows. I even had a Windows phone way back when those were still a thing. Quite liked it, actually, but of course, primitive compared to what you get now. It had a physical keyboard, though, which was kind of cool, with big, quite large keys on it. I actually wrote most of a novel on a phone using a Bluetooth keyboard. I still have the keyboard. It would still work on a phone, but I usually have my laptop with me if I'm going to do something like that. Interesting, I guess. Nice patch of non-snow and ice-covered sidewalk. Only about 1.5 blocks to go, and thus we'll be over. So we'll go by Davin School up here, now called the Crescent School, which is where my daughter went to school for 8 years. And then our house is just past that, and we'll be done. More ice to avoid. I think I'll take to the street here now. In fact, I think I'll just walk down the road because it's well melted off. So they call it Crescents now, but it'll always be Davin School to us. They decided they didn't like the guy it was named after, so they erased him from the school. I have a problem with that kind of historical revisionism and canceling of people from the past. But they did ask me, and I actually told them, but it didn't make any difference. I don't know, maybe. I haven't bought a house ever, so I'm not the one to ask about that. Houses I've lived in have all been rented, or in this case, the house has been in the family since, the one we're in now has been in the family since 1939. We bought a condo, but the house is, it's got to be 100 years old in 2 years. And we should have a party to celebrate the house's centennial. It's called the Bishop's House because once upon a time it was, but not anymore. And we'll stop at this corner up here. Another nice house that has good Christmas decorations. If you go back and watch my walk looking at Christmas decorations, you'll see that. We're going to stop right up here on the corner. Thanks for walking with me. I'm sorry for the fact it ended up in two parts, but you can watch them one after